Howdy, hey, happy Tuesday. Family, listen, I know I said that I was not going to go live on Tuesdays for the month of February. You all asked for a break. I said I was going to give you one. But here's the thing, it's not 11 a.m. So technically, I'm still not going live Tuesday at 11 a.m. But I've missed you all. I wanted to hop on today though because I spoke with a gentleman last night and the IRS has cleared his bank account. Okay. Excuse me, not the IRS, the state. But I also spoke with somebody 2 weeks ago where the IRS had cleaned their bank account. And there's this thing where they're telling me, hey, I can't find anybody to help me. And I'm on here with you all of these enrolled agents and aspiring enrolled agents, and I just can't wrap my head around this. If there are millions of people that have an issue with the IRS, there aren't as many enrolled agents. How can they not find somebody to help them with their tax problem? All right. I'm not going to be here long because today I get to do one of my favorite things and just be Miss Jemiah's mom on a field trip. So I promise I'm not going to be here long. I want to hit this really quick though. I got 5 things for you guys because there are so many taxpayers that need representation right now, whether that is getting a levy removed, getting a lien removed. If it's just helping them set up a payment arrangement, they need you, and they need you as an enrolled agent to walk in that authority and do that for them. So I'm going to talk about how you do that. If you're here on the live stream hopping on, please let me know down in the comments who you are. If you're new to me or this channel, I don't know if you're watching on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, my name is Timalyn Bowens, and I am America's favorite EA. As an enrolled agent, I am licensed through the Internal Revenue Service to represent taxpayers in all 50 states. All right. I can also represent taxpayers in other countries as long as they have a U.S. tax problem. With that being said, I'm also the owner of Bowens Tax Solutions, and we specialize in helping taxpayers that owe $100,000 or more that are actively being audited or facing a levy. All right. And before I get going too much, I am going to go ahead and share this to my personal Facebook page. Meta does not like me, so people will tell me that they received this notification and I'll be gone already. So let me do this really quick. And if you are on LinkedIn right now, in order for me to see you, you are going to have to hit, there's a button I think that says give StreamYard permission to show the comments and everything. Otherwise, I'm not going to see you because I just picked up my phone and I see Misha Scott said, "Morning, Timalyn." Good morning, Misha, but I can't see you on the screen yet. So let me hurry up because I actually have to get to the field trip. I need to leave in like 30 minutes. Bear with me here. Because like I said, I'm just going to share this really quick. I can see myself. All right, cool. So like I was saying, if you were hopping on the live stream, let me know down in the comments. We need to talk about what you need to do to be able to help your future clients right now. And again, like I said, how in the world we have all these taxpayers that are telling me like, hey, I can't find anybody to help me. Thank you so much for the information, or thanks for taking me on. You're the only person I was able to find. And like I said, I'm in this community with you all. So I know there are enrolled agents out here. I know there are CPAs and tax attorneys, but right now I'm speaking specifically to my enrolled agent family and community. Why are they not able to find you? Good morning, Jeremy. Let me show you a little love. Jeremy McKinney, thank you for hopping on LinkedIn. So the main issue that I'm seeing, because on the flip side, I'm also talking to enrolled agents. I talked to somebody that told me they've been an enrolled agent now almost 2 years and they've never had a tax representation client. Here's the thing. When you do tax representation, there are not people out there that hold up signs that say, hey, I owe the IRS. It's all inbound sales. That means that people are going to reach out to you when they have a problem. How are they going to reach out to you when they have a problem if they don't know what you do? So, the first thing that you need to do to be able to help people with their IRS tax problems is you need to let the world know what you do and how you do it. No, I'm not saying that you need to teach some DIY course for tax representation. That's not what I'm saying at all. When I'm working with people in my mentor group, they're like, well, they don't even know what an enrolled agent is. That's the perfect opportunity for you to educate them. So let's look at this. Number one, you need to let the world know, hey, I'm an enrolled agent, and this is what an enrolled agent does and how it can be of benefit to you. Because, yes, I harp on the representation because that's what I specialize in. However, we're also authorized to do tax preparation, tax planning, tax advising. If that is within the sphere of the services that you offer, that's what you need to let the world know. You could have a full month of content telling people just what an enrolled agent is, that you help solve tax problems, that you help people that are facing a levy or an audit. Guys, remember, millions of CP 504s went out. There are taxpayers in a panic looking up tax relief, tax problem solver. You could start right now. I'm not even kidding. Start tomorrow. No, start today. Whatever social media platform you use the most, post a picture of yourself. It could be a nice picture, it could be a goofy picture. Whatever your personality is and how you're going to show up professionally, that's what you need to post. And you need to let the world know, hey, I'll use myself as an example. My name is Timalyn Bowens, and I'm an enrolled agent. And you guys know with me, I throw in there, I'm America's favorite enrolled agent. But from there, you have them hooked, and you need to explain what an enrolled agent is and how it will benefit them. Because here's what will happen. This is inbound sales, right? We can't just always go out to them. People that need your help aren't going to raise their hand. They're not going to comment on the post. Not always. They're probably not even going to engage with it. But when I make posts like that and remind people of what I do, because people forget the way these funky algorithms work, they may not even see your post. However, when they are reminded of what you do, when somebody has a tax problem, when they have a tax problem, you are going to be the first person that they think of to reach out to. I can't tell you at all on LinkedIn how many times I'll make a post about helping taxpayers or even tax professionals sometimes. And I'll have a tax professional reach out and say, hey, do you offer mentoring for enrolled agents? Why, yes, I do. And I always post about it. But guess what? They don't always see my post. But because I talk about being an enrolled agent and I share my story, they know to reach out because, she probably is somebody that can help me with this. It's the same thing with the taxpayers. You have to make sure that you put out there that you're an enrolled agent. You talk about issues that taxpayers are facing. You talk about what a tax lien is. You talk about what a tax levy is. Because once they receive that CP 504, that letter of an intent to levy, guess what they're going to go look up? They're going to look up tax experts. They're going to go look and see what a tax levy is and how it's going to affect them. And if you're using a platform like YouTube or LinkedIn, you have the advantage of that search engine optimization, which is going to help push you up on Google. A lot of the people that follow me on LinkedIn that are tax professionals that I don't know personally have told me, hey, I saw your information on YouTube. I came over here to follow you. Or I'll have a prospect reach out and book a call and say, hey, I was looking up this information. You popped up on Google, then I saw your LinkedIn profile, and I saw that you knew what you were talking about. But do you know why? Because I let the world know what I do, how I can serve them, but I stayed consistent. Guys, you can't post once a month and expect people to reach out to you as the expert, because if you only post once a month, we don't know who you are, what you do. We don't have the receipts, right? So you have to make sure, even if your strategy is not going to be consistently posting on social media like every day. You don't have to post every day. You just need to have valuable content that's going to make an impact. Because let's say, like, I'm not into social media, you can still build a 6-figure or even more enrolled agent firm or business without a huge presence on social media. But when you're meeting strangers, even if you're at networking events in person, the first thing that they're going to do is look you up online. And that's why you need some kind of consistent presence so people don't think that you are like a ghost preparer. You only show up when there are tax problems, then you disappear. Nobody can get a hold of you. Nobody can send you an email. You don't want that either, because the only thing that you have in this business is going to be your reputation and your name. Does that make sense? Let me see. So I see Facebook, I got one person. Thanks for hopping on. I can't see my stuff on LinkedIn. I thought StreamYard was going to get that fixed. But let me see. I looked on my phone. Cool. So Misha Scott says, I'm new to you. I'm watching from LinkedIn. Well, Misha, I appreciate you being here this morning. Jeremy says, yes, he's still here. Marie Turner says she's here. If you guys don't mind, because I don't think that we are connected. I know I'm not connected to Misha because she just told me, but Jeremy, because I don't see a picture, I can't remember if we're connected or not. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And Marie, let me know where you're tuning in from. So after we let the world know who we are, and we have to have some consistent schedule, even if you're just posting Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I would encourage you to try a mix of content, right? So, for example, Tuesdays, not this month, but I'll be back with vengeance in March. Every Tuesday at 11 a.m., you guys know that I'm right here sharing tips on how to become a better EA, right? So, Jeremy, I see you're on LinkedIn. I should have been specific. So, I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. I meant, where are you at in the country? Same thing, Marie. So, you guys know that I'm here on Tuesday. Every Monday night at 8 p.m., you know there's going to be a new video on YouTube. Each week, I'm putting out a blog post. So, as I'm sharing those different things, I'm using the algorithm on LinkedIn to my advantage, but I'm also catering to different people and how they consume content, right? Let's move into the good stuff that we all actually like. Once the world knows what you do, especially during tax season, because taxes are top of people's minds right now, what is going to happen? I spoke with a gentleman last night, as I mentioned before. The last tax return he filed was 2014. Why is this on his mind now? Yes, he experienced the levy, but it is something that happens every tax season. People are like, oh, I need to get on top of that right now. So, what you can do to plan in advance is create content of what happens if you haven't filed your taxes. How many years of taxes do you need to have filed to get into compliance to be able to negotiate anything? If you don't know, I'll tell you now, it's 6. But after you let them know, you will start getting the DMs. You will start getting emails. Right now, I get emails, I get messages and comments on LinkedIn. I have people that go from YouTube that send me emails. That leads to the next part where you get retained. All of your content needs to have some type of call to action. How do they move forward to work with you? Look, if you prepare taxes, tax preparation and tax representation are going to be 2 different things. Okay. You need to make sure that your clients that are tax prep clients actually understand that. The people coming in that you haven't worked with before, they're going to understand that once you explain it and, like, hey, this is a different fee, different engagement letter. You want to make sure that you draw the line with your tax preparation clients, though, because sometimes, let's be real, tax preparation clients don't always listen to us. We tell them what adjustments to make so they're not going to continue this cycle of owing, but sometimes they just don't listen. They need to understand that you are not checking anything on their account. You're not negotiating anything, setting up any arrangement for them unless you've been retained for that. The way that you do that, you need to make sure that you have a new engagement letter that is going to be very specific about what they're getting with the representation service. For me, I split mine into 3 phases. I have an investigation letter, or I'm sorry, I have an engagement letter for the investigation phase to be the power of attorney and to get the transcripts and everything, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Then, if there's anything missing, I have a phase of compliance. So on the engagement letter, it's going to tell them, okay, this is how many tax returns we're preparing. This is what the cost is going to be. Because realistically, especially if you're working with a business owner, which I typically am, because like I said, I'm working with people that owe $100,000 or more. I don't know before pulling transcripts, getting their documents to see expenses and things, how much they're going to actually owe. So that last phase, the negotiation, after looking at their financials and how much they owe, I'm going to be able to see, okay, is this going to be a streamlined agreement? Is this going to be a partial pay? Is this going to be an offer and compromise? And from there, I can price it. So once you have all the inbound traffic, you get them on a phone call, you get retained. If you've never done this before, my personal advice is to actually get retained and do it in phases, right? Because again, the conversation I had last night, I have a pretty good idea of where we're going. But remember, I've been in the tax industry since 2011. I've been doing representation stuff now for what? Well, representation, full representation as an EA, POA, the past 6 years. I was doing paperwork and stuff like that prior. So I have an idea of what people are going to qualify for when I see certain criteria. Now, like I said, I have to go so I can get to my daughter's field trip, so I can't go into all the detail right now. After you get retained, you need to make sure that you get the 2848, which is your tax power of attorney, on file with the CAF unit ASAP. Okay. Now, I made a controversial post on LinkedIn and Facebook. I think it was a week ago, maybe 2 weeks now. And I said, fund the IRS. And here's why. The IRS has a lot of different computer systems that don't work together. I don't know if you guys have called one department and like they don't know what's going on in the other department, and it's frustrating. Not only do they need more employees, they need some technology updates, right? And to be completely honest, I love some of the technology updates that they have already made. If you're not aware, you need to go ahead and create your Tax Pro account on irs.gov and go ahead and link your CAF number to it. And here's why. You'll be able to see all of the 2848s that are connected to your CAF number at this time. If you need to revoke any of those, you can now do that online without faxing a 2848 in that says withdraw, revoke. I can't remember what we write on top anymore because I don't do it that way. But in addition to that, with a Tax Pro account, there are 2 different ways that you can get your 2848 taken care of online now. So if the prospect that will soon be your client has an account with IRS already at irs.gov, you can actually log in, fill in information like you would for a 2848, and request authorization to their account. And it can be done instantly. So you literally don't have to do the whole back and forth of filling out the 2848, sending it to them, having them send it back. You sign it, fax it. Like I said, you still get the information. I still have them sign one to keep on file for me for records, but it's data entry putting that information in the 2848, requesting authorization from them. Within 24 hours, they need to accept it, approve it, and then boom, you're in. If they don't have an account, that's cool because you can still do the 2848 the traditional way, but through your Tax Pro account, you can now upload the 2848 to the Tax Pro portal, and not that fast, but it's still fast, right? And once you upload that, I think I've had all of mine approved within 28 to 48 hours. So again, that technology advancement is not only helping the taxpayer, but it's also helping us to do our job better and to get in here to help the taxpayer. All right. So let me see. Marie, thank you for tuning in from New Jersey. Jeremy, thanks for tuning in from Loris, South Carolina. I hope you guys are having nice weather. It's kind of wonky here in Kentucky right now. But we're letting the world know who we are so we can start getting those inbound inquiries and calls, right? Then we're going to get retained. After we get retained, we're going to get the POA on file. Now, getting that power of attorney is so important because that's what actually gives us the authority to discuss the taxpayer's situation with the IRS, gives us the authority to receive their mail, it gives us the authority to step in on their behalf. And like I tell my clients, the power of attorney allows me to step into your shoes and handle the situation. It's almost like if you watch wrestling and a tag team match. It allows your client to tag you in and then you fight the fight for them, right? So the first thing that you want to do after you get that power of attorney, you want to get the taxpayer transcripts. Now, I typically will go 10 years back unless from listening to them, it sounds like there may be some skeletons in the closet a little bit further back. And then I go a couple of years forward. The reason I do this is because I don't want any surprises. I also want to be able to look at the CSED, which is the collection statute expiration date, and I want to look at the ASED. I want to look and see, did the IRS actually assess taxes on certain years and how much time do they have left to do that, right? This is all going to work together so I know where to start. Once I get those transcripts, I'm actually going to also want to call and do what we call a compliance check. When I do that compliance check, I am seeing what returns are missing, what is the total balance. Out of the total balance, how much of that is the actual principal tax that was assessed, and how much of it is penalties? If I'm fortunate enough to get through to ACS, which is the automatic collection system, first, instead of going to the practitioner line, I also am going to ask right there on the phone, are any of these penalties eligible for first-time penalty abatement? Because if you don't know, if a taxpayer files their return late, and this is an individual taxpayer, so filing a 1040, if they file that late, the maximum penalty for failure to file is 25%. So let's say that the taxpayer was going to owe $10,000 that year. Well, if they filed 6 months late, in addition to that $10,000, they now have a $2,500 penalty. So if I can request abatement, so to have that forgiven or removed right there on the phone, why would I not do that? All right. So I got my POA. I'm doing the investigation. Again, I'm looking at the CSED, looking at the ASED, recent years if they filed. I'm looking at the RSED, be like, what potentially could be refunded. If they have a balance, it's not going to be refunded, right? It's going to go towards whatever their balance is. But these are the things that I'm going to look at when I actually get the transcripts and I can do an investigation. Now, again, I got to go. I got like 9 minutes. If you want more information about penalty abatement on my free podcast, Tax Relief with Timalyn Bowens, I do have 2 different episodes where I talk about first-time penalty abatement and then reasonable cause abatement. Last but not least, thank you guys for sticking around. You're going to let the world know who you are, get retained, get your POA on file with the CAF unit ASAP, do a transcript investigation, but then you need to actually review the client's financials and create a plan. I have so many tax professionals reach out and say, hey, Timalyn, I'd love to partner with you on this. Can you tell me if this taxpayer is going to qualify for an OIC, an offer in compromise, right? And I ask them, Well, what are you getting when you look at their financials? And they're like, well, I haven't looked at the financials yet. Or I have the financials, I don't know. When we're looking at representation and seeing what clients qualify for, everybody's story is going to be unique, but we're still going to take them through the same process, right? That process is taking them through a 433 because we already have the guidelines of what the IRS is using to look at their case and situation. We have access to the Internal Revenue Manual to see how they're going to interpret their financial situation. Now, before you can negotiate anything, we do have to make sure they're in filing compliance, and they do need to understand that they need to start making estimated tax payments for the current tax year. But that's fine because making those estimated tax payments is going to stop the bleeding, right? In addition to stopping the bleeding, that's also going to be an allowable expense that takes away from what the IRS says they can afford to pay monthly on their back taxes. So a lot of clients will freak out there, but making payments towards the current year is going to help them, again, stop the bleeding, stop the leaking with owing the IRS any further, or I guess I should say adding anything to what they owe. But it's also going to help with their monthly expenses. Like, hey, we'll allow you to pay less on the back taxes if you can keep yourself out of trouble in the future. Why would they not do that? But when we look at the 433, if you're familiar with doing tax preparation, you know we have the standard deduction, we have itemized deduction. When we look at the 433, based on age, uh, marital status, what else is it? Income, expenses, people in the home, we're going to have allowable expenses, right? But it's also going to be based on their location. So, for example, somebody's allowable expenses here in Louisville, Kentucky, where I am, are not going to be the same as where Marie's at in New Jersey, right? And they're even going to be different in South Carolina with Jeremy. So, what you have the power and expertise and knowledge to do is when you're looking at their financial information and you see, okay, this is how much they're making, this is how much the IRS says they have for allowable expenses, they may qualify for something like a currently not collectible because paying towards the back taxes would put them in a financial hardship. They may not qualify for that. They may only qualify for a streamlined agreement where they can pay it within 72 months or before the collection statute expiration date expires or is reached. Expires is already in there. But you don't know that until you review their financials and you actually put it through a 433. You have to remember that you passing this exam doesn't make you the expert automatically. What it does do is shows that you have the ability to research and learn and continue learning to become that expert that an enrolled agent is, right? So, really quick recap, the 5 things that I shared, you want to let the world know who you are. How do you, as an enrolled agent, help the world? What problems do you solve? All right. This doesn't all have to be one post. You could do Monday, hey, I'm an enrolled agent. Tuesday, why you became an enrolled agent. Wednesday, what do enrolled agents do? You see how that works? Because people need to know, and you need to not only look for people that have the tax problems, but who's connected to the people that have tax problems, right? Because our client avatar is a mentality. It's not necessarily doesn't look like a certain person. It's all a mental thing. So if we're looking at people that have tax liens that need help, yes, you can go get a lien list, but excuse me, why would you not connect with a title company? Because when people are, excuse me, when people are buying and selling homes, they are going to be the ones to pull the lien. They have direct access to those people that need your help. Why would you not connect with bankers on LinkedIn? They're going to be the people that see that folks' bank accounts are getting levied that could be like, hey, I know somebody that could help you with this, right? But again, you have to be out there showing up consistently so that they remember you. Next, you're going to get retained, right? It's a separate engagement that you need to be paid for. You're going to get your POA on file with the CAF unit ASAP. You're going to actually investigate the transcripts to find out what's going on. And then you're going to review the financials and create a plan. All right. So in real life, I will not be back on a Tuesday until I believe it is March 5th. And then we will be back on schedule. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page because there will be videos that come out every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you're an enrolled agent looking to build your practice, looking to get more clients, learn how to do the work and keep your pipeline full, please reach out to me. I don't have any links right now, so we can have a conversation. I'd love to have you be a part of my enrolled agent mentoring program, which is the Tax Pros Representation Journey. You all be safe out there, stay warm, and I will see you later.